Hello guys, I am Devindu and in this video we will talk about functional components and see how to create our own components and also how to use them in our React app. But before starting, if you have not seen my previous videos on my reactjs complete playlist, so definitely check this out and also subscribe to my channel. So without wasting any time, let's start. So I am in the Visual Studio Code and I also start my development server of React with npm start. For creating any components, you need to create one new file, and I am creating one new file and I name this with as welcome.jsx. By the way, you can use JSX or JS both, but I am using JSX for it is actually a component which returning JSX, so I am giving naming convention as welcome.jsx. You can also use JS also. For creating a React component, you need to import React from React, and React component is just a JavaScript function. So I am just typing as JavaScript function, and the function name I will be give welcome. Just see, I am giving one function name welcome, and this is exactly what our file name welcome. And always capitalize the word for creating any component, just like I am using capital W, not just small w. This JavaScript function will return one JSX, so I'm just returning as h1 welcome. And this is our whole component. This looks like. And also, after initializing or creating one functional component, you need to export it. So I am just exporting with export default and our component name or function name welcome. And there's another way to export, and we will see it later. So just save this as of now. And if we import this welcome JSX component in any file or any component in this file, we can use this welcome JSX component or welcome component. Our entry point of our React project is the index.js, and you can see it's already rendering one app component. I am just removing this, and also this is not required, so also removing this and also removing the app component. Okay. For importing our welcome component, we need to write welcome as import, and then we need to define the path of our welcome JSX component. So as it is the welcome JSX component or file is in the same directory as our index.js, we need to just write dot slash, and then we need to write the actual file name. So in this case we are writing welcome, and we don't need to write the extension JSX or JS. The React will automatically recognize this. So we imported our welcome component successfully, but how to use it? So we need to just write the similar type of tags as HTML or JSX, whatever you tell, just like this. And this is the actual component syntax welcome. You can also write the syntax just like this. The both way we can use this component, but I will prefer to use this syntax just like this. So if I save this and see the output, we will see welcome, and this is exactly what our component welcome returning. For defining the function or the component, we can also use the Es6 syntax of creating one function just like this. If you don't know what is the es6 function, you can also read it in the Google. And this is exactly similar type of syntax, but without the square brackets and the curly braces, there's a arrow function or the arrow syntax, and this is like a anonymous functional name which we assign to welcome variable, and it is one constant. So you can read all about this, but actually it is the most recommended way to actually initialize or create one React component. So we will see this type of functional representation throughout this course, and it is actually recommended by the React developer. So I am just commented down the previous way or old way for defining the function, and from now we will actually define any function just like similar syntax, es6 syntax. It is a recommended way to put all of these components into one folder called components, and puts these all of the components in component folder. So here I moved my welcome j6 in the component folder, but after moving this we need to just change the path for our component. So just now we need to just write dot slash components and then welcome. The components are actually the folder name of these components. So if I just save this index.js file and go for the output and reload this page, you can see the similar output. I am now creating one new component called greetings. So I'm just naming greetings.jsx, and in this folder, or sorry, in this file we need to just import react from react, and then we need to just define one function, and I'm using es6 syntax. So and this greeting function returning good evening as the greeting, and also I need to export this component. So I'm just exporting as export default greetings. Okay, if I just save this and go for the index.js file, and instead of rendering welcome, if I just rendering greetings, and we need to also import the greeting. So just importing greetings component, and we need to just write dot slash components and just then greetings. And if I just save this and go for the output, you can see instead of welcome we can see good evening, because we don't rendering the welcome component. Now we are rendering the greetings component. We can also render both component welcome and greetings at once, but for that we need to wrap those component into one div, just like this. And if I save this and go for the output, you can see welcome good evening. Those two are the different components. This is one different component welcome, and this is our different component greetings. We can also use this component whatever time we want, just like I am just repeating this component, and if I save this, we can see we have 1 2 3 4 times welcome, and 1 2 3 4 times evening, just as I am copying welcome 4 times and using also copying greetings 4 times. As our React application become more complex, it did not recommend way of structuring our React app in the index.js file. Instead of this, if we all structure all of the React app in a different component and just importing the component in this file and rendering that component, it will be become more easier for understanding the code. So the React developer choose app component as our main component of the React app. So if you see the app.js file, it's contain one functional component app, and it has some JSX. And if I just removing this JSX and just putting this in that file and just paste it, and importing the welcome and greeting component inside the app component, and just save the app.js. And for the index.js, if we just render the app component, and I'm just editing this and importing the app, just save this, and if I see the output, it's seeing the similar type of output just we have seen, but the text is aligned in the center just because in the app.js file we have imported the app css. If we just comment it down and save this, we can see the similar type of output we have seen before. And this is actually the recommended way for structuring our React app. The app component is our main component for our React app, and this is the file. In the app component we have a function called app, and this is our functional component, and we also exporting as default app and just importing welcome and greetings component. These two component we recently created and just using it. The logo is not required now, and I'm just uncommenting the app css for better view. And if I just removing this duplicate and just save this, see the output says welcome and good evening. Whenever we exporting one component by the export default, we can give any alias name of that component, just like I am giving a alias name of welcome as welcome hello. And we also just need to change this as welcome hello, and if you just save this and see the output, is exactly the same output and it's exactly the same component. But in that case we are giving one alias name as welcome hello, and you can also see it's written alias welcome hello. So it is actually the alias name we can give, but there's also another way of exporting one component, and in that case we can't give the alias name. If I just comment it down and just write export in the position, this is called the naming export. And if I just save this and if I just go for the code, and it's showing error for compiling, and also it is showing error, and it's returned export default import as welcome hello was not found, because our functional component don't have any default export. For that case we need to wrap up this welcome component inside one curly braces and just write welcome, the exact function name we have written here. And if I just change the welcome hello to welcome and just save this file, we can see the similar type of output welcome and good evening. We can define any number of functional components in the same file, just like it is our main welcome functional file or function component. And I also defined hello, hello 2 and hello 3. These all are separate functional components, and I am just using the export naming export for these components. And just see if I can use the naming export whenever time I want, but I can't use the naming export default more than one time. And also if I just write export default any component just like hello and just save this, it will show some error also. So we can't export default more than one component, but we can export more than one component with the naming conventional way of export. So if I just save this and go for app, and just now the welcome component is with export default, so I'm just removing the curly braces. And for the importing this naming export value, I'm just importing one hello and just using it here hello. And if I just save this, I can see welcome, hello everyone, and good evening. Hello everyone is coming from the naming export from the welcome j6, and this is hello everyone. I can also import hello 2 also, just importing hello 2 and just copy it and writing 2. If I save this, I can see welcome, hello everyone, hello, and good evening. So this is all about the exporting part of React. Just like any JavaScript function, these functions can also take some inputs, and this input is called props, and we can also use the props value inside the JSX. So we will see more about this props and how to use the props in the next videos. This is all for this basic understanding of the functional components, and we will see more about the functional components throughout this course. And if you like this video, please like and share with your friends. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.